We are on match day 6 out of 14, and already the table's starting to take shape. It's been a very exciting start to this season, and as we reach the midway point, there's plenty of implications in every single match. Hello, everyone. I am Magic Fiction, and I am joined today by Leo Fiacra.
I am so happy to be here. I've been waiting for this day for a long time. Whew.
And we are excited to have you.
Thank you.
Leo, of course, joining the commentary booth. Always great to see new commentators join the fray. And we're going to get right into it here with our first match of the day, CF Catalonia against Tokyo SC.
An evenly matchup, I would say. It's gonna be fun. At
Catalonia with a
least in my
bit
sims.
Catalonia with a bit of a slow start to this season. Certainly not the start they would have hoped for. Meanwhile, Tokyo have been fairly impressive, but unable to get the results that they need. Will be hoping to get a win on the board here in 3 points to bolster their title credentials. Early on, it's a deep throw here for Tokyo. Ultimately going back toward the midway line. Adamu playing it back to the keeper, Revest. Good pressing there from Deali, forcing a bit of a difficult decision by that Tokyo back line, but they are fairly resolute in dealing with it.
Doing a high risk, high reward game. Just pulling the opponent, finding pockets like this, and making direct passes
And
and goals like this.
Ibrahimovic taking the diagonal pass and putting it past the keeper. And 3 minutes in, Tokyo SC have taken an early lead over Catalonia here.
Just as we were talking about it, they just find those pockets. Kaido, amazing pass. And these one-on-ones are just easy for him.
And we said early on that Tokyo needing to press the advantage. And there you see Ibrahimovic timing the run exactly. Credit to Kaido for finding the pass, but also Ibrahimovic on knowing to time that run. And so
Good
it is
off ball.
Catalonia 0, Tokyo 1 here in the early stages. Long ball from her vest doesn't quite find a pink shirt there, but Van Gerritsen winning it off of Kamanova, and just like that, within a minute, it is 2-0 to Tokyo.
Not even 5 minutes in. And a big mistake. So big. Oh my god.
It was good pressing here from Van Gerritsen. Kamanova a little loose on that touch there. Van Gerritsen absolutely pouncing. Hefeweizen tracks back well, but can't stop Van Gerritsen from putting it in the net.
Last man shouldn't do tricks. And apart from that, nothing seems to be happening.
Indeed, a little bit of a slowdown in the tempo. Tokyo scoring with their first 2 shots of the game. Free kick here for Catalonia, but Bonito forced back to Kamanova. Bonito now near wing, trying to weave inside. Greer with a challenge, but concedes the penalty there.
Purely VAR? No, directly. Oh.
It is Deali to take this penalty, to claw one back for Catalonia, and does.
They needed this so bad. And they got it quick.
It's a very well taken penalty. Revest guesses correctly, just can't get to it in time.
And we have 3 shots in the game, 3 goals. Perfect.
Indeed, some very clinical finishing on display so far today.
And we jinxed it.
That is the commentator's curse. You'll come to know it well, I promise.
Yeah, getting used to it. My first.
Well, we near halftime here in Catalonia on the break. Panda here. Nicole Gunnarsson trying to close down, sends it back to Kamanova. In for Pruskin, but Greer gets the challenge in again. Had to be a little more careful after conceding that penalty, but does well that time.
They could have so much more out of it when the counterattack started. Wrong decisions.
Indeed, and you cannot have too much of a margin for error here. We are
Oh,
missing that challenge for Bonito. And the ball squared for Panda does win the corner here just before halftime. Ultimately, Kamino's delivery rebuffed. It's back out to Hefeweizen. And Gerritsen with that block, though. Ruskin forced back by Lee. And Lee mopping up the loose touch from Ilya Pruskin.
looks like it's gonna end this way. No, we have one more.
And it wasn't a bad chance from that free kick, but the header not on target. And so we'll go into the break. Tokyo SC on the back of those two early goals, still in the lead. That penalty, though, for Catalonia has halved the deficit. And this is still anybody's match.
Sure, have more goal. I mean, it's just all a midfield fight, and every time one of them just wins it, there's a good chance to score.
Indeed, the midfield so important for both these sides. Certainly proving the difference here today as we are underway here in the second half. Both teams playing with two holding midfielders, and as you pointed out, Leo, very, very important in that ball winning role for both of them. Cross in from Kamanova, trying to find Deali. It's headed back out. Ruskin into Poggio. No one
Oh,
takes a deflection and goes behind. And that corner dealt with by the Tokyo defense, but Choco Bonito does get to it. Catalonia maintaining possession there.
but this is going to be about how physically capable Tokyo is. See, Catalonia has a wide system here, and lost it.
They have won the ball, but Kaido's pass off target for Van Gerritsen. Now Catalonia can break here. Ruskin, though, threw a ball for Bonito off the mark. Now here comes Adamu up the far flank. Lays it off for Greer, who cuts inside. Princess Cheng Shan skying it over the bar. We've seen Cheng Shan score some long range goals, but that time not quite of the
He had
required standard.
he had the space, he had the opportunity.
Tokyo still clinging on to that 2-1 lead, but Catalonia have had some very good attacks. Tokyo will be looking for an insurance goal to try and make this deficit a little more comfortable. That shot isn't going to do it, though. Shinji Kaido once again firing over the bar.
Catalonia just needs a breakthrough from their wingers. And their wide formation is going to help them a lot so they can score.
Indeed, those wide areas are a position of strength for Catalonia. Tenderloin.
One of those passes
Kamanova
inside.
in, and Day
Yes.
Alley has leveled it.
I love it when this happens exactly when we talk about it. Exactly when we talk about it.
I guess there is an opposite to the commentator's curse after all. Who knew?
Yeah. This is the second in this game, and I love it. This is a great game. Just one touches and easy.
It was a great pass in from Kamanova to Day Alley, and just like that, it is level with only 10 minutes to play. Tokyo SC had led by 2 goals, but now find themselves drawing.
Oh,
That free kick from Zlatan Ibrahimovic, not far off the mark, but off the mark it was. Off of the post, in fact.
now the determination and concentration kicks in the players, and a composure.
Ibrahimovic misses what has to be a really good chance there.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that.
It looks like time is going to run out here, and Tokyo SC, having led by 2 goals, look like they're going to draw yet another match here. Indeed, the final whistle has gone.
I'll talk you right, but Catalonia, they put up a fight, a good one.
Indeed, a spirited performance from CF Catalonia to earn the draw here. They'll be hoping to that kickstarts a slightly better mid to late season for them than the first half has been. Of course, as I alluded to, Tokyo have had multiple draws, especially from winning positions. Starting to wonder if closing out games is a real weak spot for them this season. They'll need to find ways to get points sealed if they hope to move up the table in the coming weeks.
It seems to me like this is something common for all the teams this season. We have more draws about stadiums, maybe. But
Indeed, it
yeah,
is a there have been a lot more shared points so far this season. It's a very exciting development in the fact that matches being a lot less predictable than they have been in seasons past. And
yeah.
speaking of a lot less predictable, we have União Sao Paulo against SFV coming up next.
Oh, I love it. This season, USP, they are just dangerous. They got all those drafts and they are ready. Pyro is kicking.
Indeed, Sao Paulo, having had, to put it charitably, a fairly rough last few seasons, seem to have finally kicked it into gear and are one of the surprise packages here in this season so far. There you see 7 points, whereas the last few seasons they struggled to even record one in a season. So exciting times in Brazil for sure.
Yeah, drastic changes. And here we go.
Meanwhile, SFV falling short last season, but did win the SSL Cup. Will be hoping to win a second league title here this season.
It's been a silent game so far.
Indeed, although it is starting to pick up here, Sao Paulo, with a bit of an attack here brewing. Belstrazen Smith into the box, wins the
Good
corner off
walk.
of Schenkinger. Stinson's delivery is low and dealt with professionally by Tamale Whittington. Eilish. Whittington again with the challenge to break up that attack.
Oh, and offside.
Dia now delivering the free kick. Some very frantic defending, but it doesn't pay off as Heather Bull
But it's
is
an offside.
offside. Perfect way to finish that sentence. Indeed, Heather Bull looked like the opening goal there, but ruled offside. And so it remains 0-0.
They're just gonna have to try more. Oh, these are nice passes.
SFV known for their good passing. Bull, once again, in an attacking position, this time clatters it off the post.
They just had 2 passes and 2 blocks were broken. That was perfect.
Indeed, SFV, renowned for their high passing skill, not as much of a midfield to speak of compared to Sao Paulo, only Maximiliano in that holding role. But when they get that ball to those attackers, they are creating some pretty dangerous chances. Of course,
You can
that
see,
said,
yeah, you can see the rest of the team is just a circle around him, and all the gameplay is going through him.
indeed, a testament to Maximiliano's skill. That said, it is still 0-0 here in Brazil, and I did not mean to rhyme that, but it kind of did rhyme, so we're going with that.
We love unintentional rhymes.
It's the best kind of rhyme, really.
Exactly.
It is again a testament to how far Sao Paulo have come as Tater Justinison making way for Vito Hebjanic. It's a testament to how far Sao Paulo have come this offseason. Last season, in seasons past, this would have been a comfortable SFE win, but instead, it's a very competitive match.
They've shown they're gonna be in the conversation somehow this season. Maybe not in the title race, but they're gonna have a lot to say.
Here is Habjanic, the substitute, squaring it, and Rubio wins the corner.
They're coming.
Sao Paulo making the rest of the league sit up and take notice as Velstrazen Smith corner dealt with. It's not been an especially eventful match thus far. Both teams struggling to find quality chances, or really any chances at all.
Yeah, SFV has this compact defense, and it's very hard to break. And USP has been quite good in both ends.
Velstrazen Smith losing out there to Jihao. SFV looked like they were going to break there, but instead choosing to slow the pace down here.
Now
Letting
they
it
have
run
their
here,
break.
though. Trying to get around Eilish. Maximiliano back to Whittington. Squares it. Heather Bull saved point blank by Calvin Ball.
Wow. Amazing.
And fantastic reflexes from the Sao Paulo keeper to keep that ball out of the net. Maximiliano. This time it goes in.
It's always been him this game. We were talking about the whole game was running through him, and it was just fair. It's him on the sheet today.
Indeed, Maximiliano has been pulling the strings for SFB despite being the lone presence in midfield, this time in the right place to finish that strike. Ball got a hand to it, but was unable to block it from going in, and it crashes down off the post. Now here's Hashimoto, but Schmidt able to get to it. Here comes Jihao, out to Whittington. Whittington's shot goes wide. It looked like it had taken a deflection, but is indeed ruled a goal kick. Winning
Oh,
that poor pass from Schenkinger. Rubio, though, can't convert.
he may regret this one.
Cotswold with the cross. Saran able to punch, but it goes back out to Hashimoto. Strazen Smith from distance, and another save from Saran Satral. Strazen Smith standing over the corner. Limited time here. And that powerful header goes wide.
They built good pressure, but nothing came out of it. That's a shame. And I think we're gonna end things here.
And indeed, the referee blowing for full time. SFV getting away with a 1-0 win over Sao Paulo. Certainly, some of the better chances were SFV's, but Sao Paulo certainly not without highlights of their own for sure.
They could get one or more points. They had the chances, and SFV keeps their unbeaten title. They, I think, have only one draw so far.
I believe you're correct. And Tamana Whittington did put in a shift, but again, I do want to point out Dombrowski Maximiliano with the goal and a very strong performance, flying solo in midfield for SFV.
Totally carried them.
So Sao Paulo losing 1-0 at home, and now we move on to Rome, where AC Romana, who sit dead last in the table, have a bit of a stiff test ahead of them in Reykjavik United.
This is gonna be interesting. Romana needs that 3 points like so bad.
But what a team to come up against when you need a win. Of all teams, Reykjavik United, the reigning champions, a team that is so often dominant in league play. It's a very tall order here for the Romans.
We're expecting and hoping for a lot of goals and good football here.
It does indeed shape up to be a potentially very exciting match. Romana, as we've alluded to, will be looking for some sort of result here to try and pull themselves off the foot of the table.
Yeah, something to step on.
Reykjavik taking possession early on, be looking to build through that midfield. But Blackman, though, winning the ball off of Andrews, and now Romana, for the moment, coming forward. Hoppity. Narasov tracking well. Cross in from Hoppity, and it's headed over by Schweinsteiger.
It is good transition overall. I mean, it could be faster. They could have better decisions.
Romana with the first real chance as that corner from Furious Chicken for Reykjavik is headed over. The goal kick ultimately settling with Smart. Romana looking for that optimal angle of attack. So very difficult to get past that Reykjavik press. And here is Andrews winning the ball. Quick switch of play. Now here's Arasov. 1-2 with Yore. And Arasov nearly tucked it in far corner. As it is, wins the corner. Andrews to Arasov, and Arasov fires wide. And that is the danger with this Reykjavik team. They can break on you in a hurry, can fashion chances seemingly out of nowhere.
They changed their game pace so quickly. They just changed the direction of the game with diagonal passes and put the opponent off balance.
Exactly. It's like shifting gears in a vehicle. It's just a completely different level of play once they get possession of the ball.
Oh,
Through ball to Jean Claude, goddamn, and case in point,
is there an offside
Reykjavik.
though?
Well, fair play. I was wrong. Goddamn is ruled offside. I believe Jean Claude Goddamn might be the most commonly ruled offside player in the SSL. And Goddamn's free kick over the bar.
Someone's got to have that title. Unlucky
I
for him.
believe I believe it's either him or Owen 44 that they both tend to be called offside quite a lot. I'd
Yeah,
like to
you're
see
right.
if any of the stats team can compile some sort of ranking of how many players have had goals chalked off for offside. I'd love to see that.
Oh, we have a breakthrough. Oh,
Speaking of
that's
offside,
another offside.
it really is uncanny how that happens exactly at the right timing.
I love it when that
Meantime, here
happens.
is Smart. Now Hoppity cutting inside, sends it back out to Muller. Muller has a go from distance and does actually force a save out of Brickwall Jr., the Reykjavik keeper. And Gronkowski ruled offside there. Another free kick from Goddamn. This one hits the post.
Romana, they've been trying the right flank, especially with Hoppity. It hasn't worked yet, but it's hopeful they may get something out of it. on the other hand, Reykjavik, they have everything to score right now.
Indeed, here's Tentacles cross at the end line. Kerrigan able to get to it, though. Long ball settles. Cronus in the box and misses thanks to a save from Wall.
That's a decisive save.
Indeed, that was probably Romana's best chance of the match so far. I take it back. That was their best chance of the match so far. It hits off the bottom of
That's
the
another
crossbar
corner, yeah.
and bounces out. And this time, Schweinsteiger's header right at Rick Wall Jr. Well, Romana have roared into life here in the tail end of this first half. Certainly, Reykjavik have looked dangerous, but Romana very much looking like scoring here. Schweinsteiger let it run for Cronus. Dealt with, though, with Reykjavik. Tentacles intercepts. Now Reykjavik trying to break here. Arasov. Arasov uncontested into the box, trying to square it for Del Pirlo, but rebuffed.
That's a good transition game, but a good defense.
Indeed, and it's as I said earlier, Reykjavik can fashion chances seemingly out of nowhere, especially on the break. Taking nothing away from Romano, though, some very spirited defense here, but here is Goddamn, who crosses in. It's ultimately dealt with, at least for the moment. O'Chicken with a second attempt. And that was a charging header by that Reykjavik player. And it looks like Daedalus Cronus is going to be forced off here for Romana.
Good old super sub is going in.
Indeed, the super sub that can magically play at any position on the pitch, including goalkeeper.
Someone's got to do it.
Meanwhile, that cross from Arasov at the end line, held by Kerrigan. We are nearing halftime here, more or less at the mercy of the referee. Time, though, for one more attack here from Reykjavik. Del Pirlo dribbling into the box from a very tight angle, and it's
Oh,
gone in. And it is an own goal for Romana from Glenn Smart right before halftime.
still, that's a great solo run from Del Piero. Look at that, just unbalancing the opponent defenders.
It looked like Del Pirlo was trying to hit a low cross for Jean-Claude Goddamn to finish. Glenn Smart stuck the foot out, and it just deflects it behind Patrick Kerrigan. And so, in the break, Romana 0, Reykjavik 1.
They lost Cronus. They're down to 1 goal. Ah, doesn't look great.
It's certainly not an ideal situation, I'll say that much. Still plenty of time to turn this around at home for Romana. Remember, only 1 point on this season so far. We'll be looking for some sort of boost here at the roughly the midway point. Try and salvage this campaign. Here's Hoppity again. Trying to get the better of Tentacles. And it's Bob Kronkowski who's leveled it right after halftime.
So they keep trying the Hoppity flank, and this time it worked. The space in the box is just so much for anyone to use. They have 2 players back to back to finish this easy pass.
Indeed, if Kronkowski hadn't gotten to it, you have to believe Nunez is able to finish it from there. But ultimately, Nunez unnecessary on that occasion. Kronkowski has leveled it. Super Sub trying to pass forward, but doesn't find Pinkman. Well, even I believe if you had asked Romana for a draw at the start of this match, they would have ripped your arm off to take it. But
They would
as
pay
things
for it.
stand, they are coming forward.
The difference I'm seeing today about Reykjavik is their passing. It's below their average. I believe it's in the 70%.
That is a little low for Reykjavik standards. It has to be said. That said, that corner was dangerously close to going in. Kerrigan able to be awake to it, though. Perhaps Romana seizing on some of the rare mistakes from Reykjavik here. Pinnacles with the cross to Andrews. Andrews' shot had some velocity on it, but hits the side netting.
It's a nice try. First time shot.
Chicken.
Oh!
And somehow that's gone in. It's Alessandro Del Pirlo who will get credit for that.
It's a
Well,
deflection.
I've got to see that again. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Here's Furious Chicken. Cuts inside. Tata Yore. I see now. Tata Yore sending in the ball into the box, and it's Del Pirlo who flicks it on past Kerrigan.
It is an honest deflection. He's trying to duck, actually.
Well, they all count the same here in the SSL, and I don't think Reykjavik will be complaining about that.
Yeah.
Chicken now with the corner kick. It all falls all the way to the diver.
They're defending
It
with
goes
everything they have. I love it.
Romana knowing they can't concede a third goal here. Kerrigan able to get under that one.
Yes.
Deep throw here for Reykjavik. Urkel, two tentacles. Rivera gets a foot in, but tentacles still with it. This time, the challenge takes. Now can Romana break and get another equalizer here? Super sub finds Nunez in a lot of space. Nunez squares it, and Walter Pinkman levels it again.
Textbook transition. Love it. The change of length, the space created, the low pass. Easy.
An
Just
absolutely clinical break here. A goal on the counterattack. Nunez placing that pass to Pinkman perfectly. How many more P sounds can I fit in a sentence? And so once again, Romana level with Reykjavik. Reykjavik, though, with that corner kick, and it forces a save out of Kerrigan. And again, it looked like Kerrigan was able to get in front of that. Dangerous on the set pieces from Reykjavik here.
Romana so hard. Just park the bus. Perfect. They're putting everything they have into it.
Indeed, 15 more minutes is a long time to defend, though. And here's Andrews from point
Is
blank,
it
but
offside?
it's
Yeah.
offside. Once again, Reykjavik victims of offside. Or, well, perpetrators. I don't know if victims is accurate here. Nevertheless, the super sub getting in the way of that pass and sending it back up the pitch.
Solid guy.
Sometimes I wonder if it's just the same super subs. Like there's
Uh,
only two and they just travel from match to match.
I heard they're cousins.
I believe that, as Jean Claude Goddam's cross is blocked behind by Smart. I would believe that, to be honest.
They're obviously not brothers.
There is some familial tie there, though, it has to be said. And once again, Reykjavik ruled offside. This time it's Furious Chicken who draws the ire of the linesman.
10 more minutes and we have another draw.
Indeed. And as I said before, Reykjavik would probably be the less happy of the two teams with a draw here.
Definitely.
Romana, though, pushing forward as Nunez trying to square it to Pinkman takes it
Well,
on himself. The shot blocked.
this could get a lot worse for Reykjavik. Still can.
It's a dangerous free kick from the super sub, but it's headed clear by, I believe that was Furious Chicken to get the header in.
Oh,
Diagonal pass
so
here
much
for Tata
space.
Yore. Laver nearly conceding a penalty, but does get the challenge spot on there. And now it's back up
Some.
the other end.
That was some piece of defending.
Some frantic end-to-end play, the stuff you'll love to see in the SSL, ultimately comes to an end. The Romana player being ruled offside. And as we are well into stoppage time, indeed there is the final whistle, and it is a 2-2 draw here in Rome.
We keep getting these draws, and at the end of the game, you see they had 82% pass completed. Got better at the end of the game, but wasn't enough for Reykjavik to break those blocks Romana had between midfield and defense. They couldn't get more into the box. They have 22 shots and 2 XG.
Indeed, Romana able to stymie that Reykjavik attack that we've seen put teams to the sword on multiple occasions. Has to be said, a very impressive performance by the Romans, earning a second point on the season. Certainly would have hoped for three, but against Reykjavik, you have to wonder if you can take what you can get.
It can make a huge difference at the end of the season. This is SSL.
Indeed, 1 point could be the difference. Although at the moment, considering they have two, they'll probably be looking for a few more than that. But in the meantime, we move on to our final match of the day. It is CA Buenos Aires against Hollywood FC.
Will definitely be an entertaining game.
Indeed, both these teams with very exciting rosters, very high, very lofty ambitions, it has to be said. What is that formation from Hollywood? I apologize. That's a
This
little but it's a little unprofessional of me. I have to admit, but that caught me off guard.
this is what makes football amazing. It doesn't what it looks like on the picture.
Well, I
But
suppose
yeah,
we'll see how it works for Hollywood.
yeah, I love to see it.
It is Hollywood who have got us started for what it's worth in the blue kits going left to right.
They look so crowded in that part of the pitch.
It is a three at the back by the strictest definition.
It is a 5 at the back, more like.
A wingback and an anchor in off center midfield for Hollywood here.
They just don't like going around.
And call crossed in. Vandersloot headed it down for O'Leary and wins the corner.
Exciting play.
Brooks Bertrand looking to keep this pressure up. Hall, though, able to claim it out of the air. Of course, we have to remember it's not just league glory that's on the line this season. We've got the WSFC coming up in the offseason. All these players will be looking to impress their regional managers. That
How did
shot from
they? They totally wasted that opportunity.
indeed a very dangerous opportunity for Buenos Aires, but they did win the corner. Fortunately, that one headed over. I believe that was O'Leary. Brooks Bertrand sending it forward. Munoz spraying it out for Vandersloot. Munoz again, and that was a very low percentage shot. That's a sort of shot that you take, and it's probably not going in. Although if it does go in, it's probably goal of the season.
Maybe he just wanted to try for the goal of the season.
Well, there you go. Makes
You
sense
can't
to me.
blame a man for trying.
Indeed, I can't. It's certainly better than I could have done.
And this none having
Vandersloot.
left is going to cause a lot of problems for Hollywood. Vandersloot is a great force at that flank, and he loves, spaces.
Indeed, and as you say, Buenos Aires taking advantage of that lack of defensive presence on the flank there, on the far flank from our perspective for Hollywood. This time, though, from the other side, it's Brooks Bertrand to take this corner. That one headed over the bar, and another chance goes begging for Buenos Aires.
This has been quite one-sided so far. We have 6 shots for Buenos Aires, and nothing for Hollywood so far.
Indeed, Hollywood's
Let's
rather
see if I jinxed
unorthodox.
it.
Well, that time, Hollywood's unorthodox tactic does win a corner, their first real chance, perhaps, of this match. Hunt ultimately loses out to Bradford. Diacra from deep. It lands with Munoz. Closer, though, winning the ball. Now Hollywood looking to break. Brooks forced inside. Loses out, and
Oh,
here's Bradford. And Jake Bradford taking advantage of a gift.
this is one of the things he loves doing on the pitch. Just waits for a mistake, uses his force, he's strong. This is just physical, he doesn't do anything technical.
Well, no technical ability needed there. Dia loose with the touch, and Bradford quicker to it. From there, it's one-on-one with the keeper Hall. And it is 1-0 to Buenos Aires.
It may not
And that's
look that way, but Buenos Aires needed that more than Hollywood. See, they had 7 shots and only 1 on target. They weren't very good in front of the goal so far, and they haven't been so far in the season as well. They have 3 draws. So they absolutely needed this so bad.
indeed that was only their second shot on target, as you say. Really, really, you would think with the chances they've had, they would be perhaps 2 goals up or even 3, perhaps. But as it is, a 1-0 lead is still better than a 0-0 draw by definition. Muffin winning that ball off of Knight, but only conceding a throw in. And that is how we start the second half of this match.
And it is silent.
Indeed, passing somewhat uneventfully the first 15 minutes of the second half. The chance here, though, Vandersloot crossing in, headed down, Genkal. Knight back to Vandersloot, and it's taken a deflection and gone in. And that's a second for Buenos Aires.
We were talking about this in the first half. The left flank is not that supported, and it gives a lot of space for the opponent teams, especially when they tilt the table like this to the right and left.
It looked like Vandersloot was going far post there. Cormier getting the leg in, and unfortunately tipping it behind the opposite direction from where Hall was diving. It will go down as a Vandersloot goal, though, since the shot was on target.
Ure will be against this.
Brooks with a corner for Hollywood. It's into the massive bodies and headed clear. Still with it though, Brooks back to Muffin
Oh,
and wins the
great
corner.
save. Great save by CABA.
Brooks tries again. Forced out, and Bruera Strongine brings it under control.
Chance
Closa
for a
finds
counterattack.
Muffin. Muffin wins a corner here for Hollywood. So it's Brooks again to deliver, this time to the edge of the box. McGrain had a shot but blocked immediately, and that chance snuffed out.
They have this corner routine and it hasn't worked for them so far. I wonder if they keep gonna trying it.
It might be a matter of back to the drawing board after this match. Although they have picked up their performance in the second half, it has to be said.
This was still a one-sided game from the beginning, and it is going to end that way, apparently.
It would indeed seem so. Time very much running out on Hollywood. Hall's sending that ball long. Muffin, though, gets to it, but the challenge from Fiacra wins the ball away. And that is the final whistle. Ultimately, a comfortable 2-0 win for Buenos Aires. A bit wasteful in the early stages, but able to eventually convert their chances and come away with the clean sheet.
It was something they needed desperately. They didn't have a great start, and they have an actually good squad. These are young players, good players.
Jake Bradford, the player of the match, for seizing on that error for Buenos Aires' first goal. Second one added by the captain Vandersloth off of that deflection from Nathan Cormier. And that will wrap it up here for Matchday 6 in the Major League. Before we go, we'll take one more look at the results as well as the standings after that set of matches. And I have to believe it's going to be very interesting to see these.
SFV is totally just running this race all by themselves so far, and the rest they're going to have a fight between second and the sixth places because it is within a 3 points range for all of them.
I'd like to point out special notice to Tokyo SC, who have 2 wins, 4 draws, and 0 losses. They are also unbeaten. Unfortunately for them, having drawn 4 matches means they have dropped a significant amount of points on the league leaders, Black Forest.
As we mentioned, there are a lot of draws this season.
Indeed. While there's still a lot of soccer left to be played at these stages, thank you so much for joining us today for Matchday 6, and thank you for joining me, Leo Fiacra, for what has been a very enjoyable commentary stream.
It has been my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Of course, and looking forward to seeing you in the booth again in the future.
I will be.
Well, until next time, this has been Metafiction and Leo Fiacra. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care.